This is a new kind of futuristic technology. As long as the police wear these glasses, they can view crime scenes at any time, but it's basically just video playback. They can't interact with the people inside. Agent Luke is collecting evidence on a beach. Suddenly a surge of electricity flashes by. The next second he sees a phantom figure appear. As the figure becomes clearer, Luke finally sees the person's face. He's in total disbelief. It's his wife Casey, who died 10 years ago. He can't help but shout out in shock. But not only does she hear him, she even turns around and looks at him. Clearly, Casey is nothing like the other virtual people around. Luke quickly chases after his wife, but then he runs straight into the wall of the real-world room. However, after inspection, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the virtual glasses. Technically, something like this shouldn't happen, but there's one possibility. The accident that killed Casey also happened at this beach 10 years ago, so the virtual spaces from both cases might have overlapped. But the tech team shut that theory down immediately, because Casey's case hasn't been virtualized yet. Luke goes home feeling disappointed, even though he has a new wife now. He's never truly moved on from Casey. So late that night he returns to the station and enters the beach again. Sure enough, he finds Casey staring out at the ocean. He immediately calls out her name. Casey is startled, but she doesn't recognize the current version of Luke. After a brief conversation, Luke finds out that it's also nighttime on Casey's end. Their timelines are in sync, and Casey is just 11 days away from her fatal accident. So Luke tells her everything, but Casey doesn't believe him at all. Thinking the person in front of her is just pulling some prank, she turns to leave, to prove he's telling the truth. Luke reveals the outcome of tomorrow's ball game, and also tells her his stash of secret cash is hidden in a cookie tin in the kitchen. He asks Casey to go check. Back home, Casey confronts the short-haired Luke, asking if he's playing some trick, but when she sees how genuinely confused he looks, she decides to keep what just happened to herself for now. After all, the whole thing is way too bizarre. The next morning at breakfast, Casey suddenly remembers what Luke said, so she dumps out the contents of the tin, and sure enough, it's real. Ignoring the stunned short-haired Luke, Casey rushes back to the beach. Now she completely believes Luke. She asks what's going on. Luke guesses that they're not in the same timeline, and it's only because of the virtual glasses that they've managed to meet. Luke tells Casey that 11 days from now she'll fall off a cliff in an accident. Casey breaks down in tears. Luke tries to comfort her, and says maybe they can stop it from happening, but first they need to test if they can really change the future. Luke remembers they're supposed to go to Nathan's house tonight to watch the ball game. That night everyone took a group photo. He asks Casey not to go tonight, so he can check whether she disappears from the photo. That afternoon, the short-haired Luke gets ready to take Casey to Nathan's. Casey says she's not feeling well and decides to stay home. Meanwhile, Luke digs out the old photo. After the game ends, he's thrilled to see that Casey really has vanished from the picture.